So, tucked away this week was a very small story you may not have noticed. Manchester United have sacked David Moyes. Even though there's been a big banner up at Old Trafford since last August calling him the chosen one.
Yes, presumably in the same sense that the Grail that struck the Nazi dead on the spot in Indiana Jones was his chosen one. Manchester United have already asked Sir Alex Ferguson to again help choose who comes next, although one very old member of the board did point out that last time...
He chose poorly.
Because I think Moyes is an appropriately Shakespearean figure, the tragedy of a man suddenly promoted to a job beyond his abilities. I can't think of a modern parallel.
Hello, I'm Nick Clegg.
The man who had won nothing in a smaller organisation suddenly joining one who expect to win everything.
As I said, I'm Nick Clegg.
A man with no experience in Europe suddenly at the top of an organisation desperate to be part of Europe.
No, that's not me.
No, not really. Manchester United have been criticised by the League Managers Association for acting unprofessionally in their handling of Moyes' sacking. I do like the idea that there's a League Managers Association. Football managers don't really seem the most likely of people to be any good at forming a union. I mean, they'd take a decision to strike and Arsène Wenger would be turning up for work, going...
I did not see the decision. I cannot comment on the decision.
They'd obviously point Jose Mourinho as their press spokesman.
What do we want? 8%? When do we want it? Now? This is when we want it? Must I repeat myself? OK. Let me repeat. You can join in.
The interesting thing, of course, is that all the candidates for the permanent...
8%.
All the candidates for the permanent appointment are, in fact, foreigners. And it's not just football. I mean, we brought in a Canadian to head the Bank of England, and Labour have now employed a foreign worker to be their campaign manager for the next election. They've brought in David Axelrod. Cunning move to try and get Jeremy Clarkson to switch sides by employing people with names that sound like parts of a car.
I like Ed Miliband with his new head of PR, Jonathan Carburetor, and his head of policy unit, Danny Sixbeard Gearbox. And I've gone off David Cameron with his new campaign manager, Simon Handlebars.
Now, the attraction of David
Axelrod
is that he helped Barack Obama get elected in the US and is even credited with coming up with Obama's most famous campaign slogan. Miliband clearly wants some of that magic to rub off.
I am so excited to have you on board. I mean, yeah, you actually came up with the phrase, yes, we can. Super.
Whether yes, we can will suit Ed Miliband is not quite clear. It might have to be subtly changed to...
Do you think we could?
Or maybe, no, they should just stick with it.
Can we set up a policy review committee to oversee the policy discussion forum with a view to formulating objectives for the policy steering group to make recommendations for the policy document to be presented at some point going forward?
Yes, we can!
It's not just Labour, of course. 2 years ago, the Tories asked Australian spin doctor Lynton Crosby, who masterminded their entirely unsuccessful 2005 campaign, to choose their election strategies, even though last time...
He chose poorly.
Which may not mean anything. He may be brilliant, but sadly for me, that brilliance would be slightly diminished by the fact that he sounds like a motorway service station. For those unfamiliar with Australian election strategists, it must have been confusing in the selection meeting.
Now, if we go down the names on the list here, I suggest we stop at Lynton Crosby.
If that's the route we're taking, then yes.
Now, what about Grant Shapps?
Is that the next one? How far is it?
See, they're all at it. Still, UKIP at least will be employing British workers, right? Apart from the ones who are German and married to the leader.
Yes, UKIP unveiled their election post this week, a sober and entirely realistic contention that every single unemployed person in Europe wants to come here and steal your job. Which is only true if you're a football manager, really. UKIP have also suggested, again, that we make St George's Day a bank holiday.
Yes, UKIP are big fans of St George, possibly on the grounds that he was a foreigner who never came anywhere near Britain. And to be honest, looking at the way foreigners get talked about here...
He chose wisely.